Hello and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to talk about the issue of when the crap hits the fan. The question I have is, who can you trust when the crap really does hit the fan? Who can you trust, right? I think this is a very important topic because a lot of people are very, very unrealistic when it comes to certain things. When it comes to certain things, people can be very unrealistic. At one time, I was one of those people, because, there's this mindset that you can deal with any and everybody in a tough situation. Reality shows you, however, that that's just not the case. You cannot deal with everyone. You cannot trust everyone in certain situations. I used to hear my mom say this often, and others as well. This is a very common statement when people say it's a dog eat dog world. A dog eat dog world. And there are those who will prey on you if they believe that. Prey on you as in P-R-E-Y, not pray for you, but prey on you. Okay? Try to take advantage of you or get an advantage over you because they feel that you are weaker or they feel that you are vulnerable or whatever it is. There are those who will victimize you. Okay. And so that's why I want you all to consider this. Who can you trust when the crap really does hit the fan? Because it's about to hit the fan. For some, it already has. Okay. But as time wears on and on and on, things are only going to get worse. They're only going to get worse. And we must be realistic in our thinking, both on a natural and a spiritual level. Both on a natural and a spiritual level. One thing that I can say over the past, I'm going to just say 10 years specifically. It goes much further than that, okay? But specifically the past 10 years, I've been able to see some things dealing with people that just really brings it to the surface of who we are dealing with, okay? Like I said, even before that, from a very young age, I was able to see people for who they were and what they were about. I was able to, peer at racism and see how society treats certain people over others. So I've always paid attention to certain things, but there's a certain cluster of events that was just kind of like forced upon me. And most of it has to deal with cultural awakening. Rediscovering who we are of the flesh, understanding our history, and it hasn't all been good. The discovery in and of itself has been amazing. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, good, bad, and everything in between. But as it relates to people, more specifically my own people, because, like I said, I've always paid attention to how other racial groups treat us. I've always paid attention to that. But in terms of my own people, I had this blind spot. I can remember, feeling so very emotional about things that happened to our people because, for me, it was normal because I love my people. It is what it is. When you love your people, of course, you're going to feel a certain way when you see the troubles and the woes that they have to go through. I remember in elementary school when I first learned of Martin Luther King and how he died and all that. I was very sad about that. And I wasn't in the dark about what was happening in this country. I was fully aware of certain happenings in this world because we experience certain things. I can remember at age 4 when we were in St. Louis, 3 or 4. I was very young. I'll just put it to you that way. I was either 3 or 4 years old, very young. And I remember us passing by. It's like some houses have alleyways that you can pass through the alley to get to the next block or the next, you can go past several houses. You have the street, the main street, and then you have the alleyways. And I can remember walking past this white woman's house. and I was very young. All of my cousins and I believe my older sister was walking with us as well. But I remember how angry and mean-spirited that white woman was upon looking at these little Negro children walking past her property, you see. And so I knew right away at a young age that there were some people in the world who just didn't like us. It didn't matter what we looked like in terms of if we were nice kids or sweet kids, innocent kids. None of that mattered. They didn't care about that. They just didn't like us, right? And so all of that aside, I'm not trying to make this a racial thing. I'm really talking about that cluster of time, the past 10 years or more, with this cultural awakening. I've learned some things about my people that lets me know that you cannot trust everyone. Okay? That's really the bulk of what I'm talking about. The gist of what I'm getting to is you cannot trust everyone. And so the question is, again, who can you trust when the crap really does hit the fan? You know, you always have people, when you talk about certain things, you'll look in the comment section and you'll hear certain statements being made about us sticking together and we're going to be forced to stick together and stuff like that. I mean, nothing against the person who made that statement or any of you who may have made those statements in the past. Nothing against you at all, because at one time I had that thought and that mindset too, that we have to stick together. And I never had that thought of we are all each other have. I never had that thought, because that is a very foolish thought, because most of us don't even like each other. We can't even get along. But even to the point of a lot of us being forced to come together, I feel like if you're forced to come together, then that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous to me. If you have to be forced to come together with somebody, then that ain't gonna work even in an emergency situation. Somebody is going to do something that is going to cause, someone is going to do something that is going to cause, that's okay. That's all right. You all right. Someone is going to do something that is going to cause a breakdown, even in that emergency situation. People think that because something is an emergency or a situation is dire, that people are automatically going to fall in line and do right. Some people are just wicked, bad to the bone, and they ain't gonna do right even in an emergency situation. So again, the question is, who can you really trust when the crap does hit the fan? Who can you trust? That's something that you need to know up front. You need to be able to put your finger on that, because some people are cutthroat, downright wicked when the crap hits the fan, only thinking about themselves. And they are not going to concern themselves with you and your well-being. And I'm not talking about people in the world in general. I'm talking about people you know, family, friends, people you grew up with, co-workers, people that you are familiar with. People that you are familiar with can become your worst enemy in an emergency situation if their mind isn't right. A person with their mind right will understand that, you know what, things ain't right now in the world. Things are kind of messed up. Things done went south real fast, right? And a person with the right mindset would say, let's stick together and do right. But if you were forced into that situation, 9 times out of 10, that person's ways are still going to show up. Don't think that just because somebody is black that you'll be able to trust them. Don't think that at all. See, we get so caught up in these racial things. Okay, rightfully so, is right in our faces. And I think I want to do a separate video where I'm going to talk about the hypocrisy amongst so-called black people and white people. There is some extreme hypocrisy in both directions. There's some extreme hypocrisy where people don't want to own up to the facts of reality in their own situation. They don't want to own up to it. I feel that it's very important that people own up to the facts of their reality or the reality of their people. Don't trick your mind into thinking one thing when you know it's not that way. Okay? There were certain things that were decreed in this world to happen a certain way, and that's what we see unfolding. But it's not for people to exonerate their own racial group. Don't exonerate your people when you know that there is an established track record of certain things. And I'm talking to black people and white people. Like I say often, we are not in the land of our captivity because we were good. We're not here because We just fell upon some unfortunate circumstances. That's not why we're here. We're here because we angered the Most High so bad. He said, I'm going to put you in a place to where they're going to wear you out. It is what it is. And that's where we are right now. And so when I hear people say that what if we're forced to work together? I say to myself that don't make sense. To have to be forced shows that there's a stubbornness that exists among our people. Coming together with people is not as easy as you think. We've been there, done that. Some of you know what we went through, know the experience and how horrible it was, right? Some of you know that. And the reason why it was horrible is not just of what happened to us. It's horrible and devastating at the fact that people who you thought should have been able to make something work couldn't. And how people allow sin to step in. When I say sin, you allow a lying tongue, a backbiting tongue. You allow a manipulating tongue, or a slanderous tongue, or a false witness tongue, or a murderous tongue. Because the scripture says, he that lies on his brother is a murderer, right? So many things, even jealousy and just covetousness, all kinds of wickedness creeps in when you're trying to make something happen with people who don't have the mind of righteousness. All kinds of things can creep in. We've seen it in the Christian church. We've seen it in this walk where we have departed ourselves from all of these institutions where anything goes. You can do whatever you want. You literally have organizations that have this mentality of it's your thing, do what you want to do. No standards of righteousness or holiness whatsoever. It's like the Bible has been tossed out by some people because they don't want to live by the contents therein. You see? And so this is why you can't really believe that you can trust everybody. And if you think that, you need to go back to the drawing board. Look at reality. Reality tells you can't trust everyone. Reality tells you that there are some people that will smile in your face and stab you in your back. Reality tells you that. The time for the gushy, mushy love is over with. We are living in desperate times right now, and you need to know who you can depend on. You need to know who you can trust. What I find amazing and very interesting is there are a lot of people who will look at you and say, oh, I know I could trust that person. I know I could trust that person. And they feel safe with you. They'll even say that. I feel safe with you. I can trust you. I could trust your family or whatever. But is the same trust existent in the opposite direction? The person who you say you can trust, can they trust you? That's the problem right there. You have people who already got people picked out that they know that they can trust. People they know they can depend on. People who know that people who they know are not going to do them wrong. They got those people. They can pick them out. But can the same be said in reverse? Can those people that you have picked out trust you? And see, that's the problem. That's the problem a lot of us are having, is knowing that you have something to give and that you can be trusted, but you cannot find that in return. And that's a tripped out situation to be in, because in the present situation the world is, the way things are going, all of these shortages, things stopping, people losing their jobs, people losing their homes, all kinds of stuff happening. Excuse me. With all of this stuff happening, you have got to be careful. Even the Bible tells you, be careful for nothing. And it says, put not your confidence in man. Don't put your confidence in man, because you will be let down every time. There's a lot of praying and fasting and seeking that we must do in these days, because darker days are ahead. It is what it is. It's already started. Perilous times have already been in motion. Okay. And even though sometimes people may feel a sense of calm because they're doing things in the background and in the shadows, and you feel a little calm, don't let yourself get too comfortable in that calm. Continue to fortify. Do what you have to do to secure your family. And keep your eyes on those that you know you can trust. Okay? And also keep your eye on those who you know you cannot trust. Okay? And pray the will of the Father concerning both groups. Pray the will of the Father, our Creator. I'm done with this video. Of course, in the comment section below, I want you to leave your thoughts. Remember to keep it tight and keep it right, but until next time. We hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.